Hello. Hello. It suddenly got dark and it just started raining, so hopefully you can see me okay. What am I like in the I think you can see me just looking in the little viewfinder thing. Hopefully you can see me anyway. It's funny, isn't it? It was sunny a minute ago, but September. We're getting towards the autumn now. So another one in this series, my thoughts, and this one comes from Gary G. I didn't think I wrote his name down then. Gary G. And he just says, bro, your thoughts on animal welfare. No, he doesn't. He says, bro, your thoughts on animal welfare, meat industry and meat eating. So my thoughts on animal welfare, meat industry and meat eating. Gary G, I'm assuming you mean the animal welfare within the meat industry, we call it, slaughterhouses, whatever. This isn't a debate on meat eating versus vegetarianism or veganism or whatever. It's not a debate on that. These are just my thoughts, really. And if I'm honest, I'm a hypocrite. I've made a video about this a long time ago. I'm a meat eater. However, I was brought up, my mum obviously born in 1934, so she went through the war and what have you. To my mum, meat was very important in her life. I'm going to roll a fag quickly. I have meat in the oven cooking at the moment. So she went through the war and what have you, and she lived on a farm. And they cooked, obviously the animals, the meats, they cooked that from the farm. And she saw the animals growing up and saw them being born, and she ate eggs. She couldn't drink milk, actually. My mum was allergic to milk all of her life. Black tea. So she saw everything, and she ate the eggs and she ate the animals, but she ate everything that was on and around the farm, whether it be corn or apples or pigs or fruits, whatever, everything and anything. And they made their own bread there and all sorts of different things. So she ate everything. And obviously didn't question anything whatsoever. But my mum always thought that meat was very important. And because she was calcium deficient, because of, maybe because of the lack of milk, who knows. She always said, when we grew up, meat is really important. Eat your meat. Pink Floyd. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. My mum was a little bit like that, I have to say. But my mum always said that meat is full of goodness, full of protein and full of calcium. And, now I've got in the oven, I'll be honest tonight, I've got some lovely, beautiful, fluffy roast potatoes coming on well. I decided this week to treat myself by getting some decent steaks, and I mean decent, they're a good inch deep by about 8 or 9 inches long, and I bought 4 because I'm greedy, so I'm going to have 2 tonight, and then I've put 2 in the freezer, so I'll have them whenever. And I've also bought 2 packs of belly pork slices. I like my steak well done, and I like my belly pork slices very well done. Crunchy and crispy. The smell, the taste, absolutely stunning. You can't beat it. I probably went off on a tangent then, thinking about my fat belly. So yeah, my mum always said about how important meat was. The protein, the calcium, the vitamins, it's all in there. All the goodness is in the meat. Now the truth is, apart from the potatoes, which are just fattening really, I've got broccoli and carrots. That's what I'm having. Now there's more protein probably in the broccoli than in the meat. if we're honest, you know. But I fancied steaks, that's what I'm having, and that's that, you know. No rights, no wrongs. Well, there would be wrongs if you're a vegetarian, you saw what's wrong. You know, you're eating an animal and that's wrong, and that's fine, you know. I don't see the point in I'm going blank now in my head. Too much bloody meat, Bri, that's what it is. I don't see the point in well, I don't know how to word it, but I don't see the point in being upset or offended about somebody else's diet that's got nothing to do with you. And basically what I'm saying there is, if you're a vegan, if you're vegetarian, or if you're a meat eater, good luck to you. Are you a decent person? That's my one and only criteria. That's it. What you put into your mouth has got nothing to do with me. We can look at the moral aspects of the rights and the wrongs of eating various things, you know. But for me, let's talk about me and my diet for a minute, and then we get into this question proper, shall we? I am a little bit of a hypocrite because I don't like the thought of eating meat. I don't like the thought of killing animals. For me, I have to put it into a product. So tonight is steak. Well, what sort of a steak runs around, you know? I mean, it's cow, but I don't want to think that I'm eating cow. So I'm eating steak. I would eat sausages. I would eat a fillet of chicken. I would eat, you know, whatever. A burger, you know. So I don't put it into, don't put it into animals running around the place a bit, you know. I was shopping years and years ago with my younger brother, and we walked past a butcher's, which I hate, right? And he went, "God, look at that, doesn't it look lovely?" And I said, "No, it fucking don't," you know. I hate butcher shops. Are absolutely revolting to me. Full of slabs of murdered animals, red meat, dripping with blood all over the bloody place, you know. That is not a pleasant thing for me. However, if it's cooked and presented to me, it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And these steaks will be, you know. I've just turfed them out of their little wrapper thing. I don't like to touch them, so I turn them upside down into their little baking tray, and they're going to have caramelised onions on them. When I do the caramelised onions, that is, when I stop making bloody videos. And it's going to be absolutely lovely because it's cooked, you know, and it's called a steak. So I won't sit here thinking it's a cow, poor cow. I won't have a pork sausage and think poor pig, you know. My belly pork slices are belly pork slices, you know. What's belly, what's pork, and what slices? None of that tells me it's a pig, you know. But as I say, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite when it comes to food, because I eat quite a lot of vegetarian food, and I've had some beautiful vegetarian meals and some lovely vegan meals, absolutely lovely, and I can't fault them. And I've had some lovely meat-based meals, absolutely lovely, and I can't fault them, no problem. And my diet is varied to a degree, you know. About a fortnight or so ago, I just bought salad, just salad and fruit. That's all I fancied, you know, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was so good, you know, no preparation as such, you know. It was absolutely lovely, and I never had any meat for that fortnight. I had a couple of times I had eggs. I boiled some eggs up, and really enjoyed my eggs. And again, is that right, wrong, who knows, whatever. I thoroughly enjoyed them, so I ate them. and that was that, you know. But I had no meat whatsoever. This week I really fancied some nice cooked steaks. I cook them slowly. I got a griddle pan, I've got a ridge monkey. I use a lot of different things when I'm cooking. I'm going to caramelise the onions over it. I've got broccoli there just on gentle. I've got my spuds in the oven, they're browning nicely. And it's going to be a beautiful, wonderful meal. But it's going to be a meal that I don't think anything about when I'm eating it. I just think this is a lovely meal. But I would think that if I was to eat a vegetarian meal or a vegan meal, I think this is a lovely meal. And I wouldn't necessarily think, oh, this is a lovely tomato. It was growing on the vine in Brazil just a little while ago. And somebody picked it and packed it, and it went by transport 500 miles. And sat around for a day. Then it got shoved onto an aeroplane in crates, and then it travelled 1,000 miles over to the UK, then up and down the motorways, and eventually into a supermarket, then a van from the supermarket to the shop, then my car to the supermarket to pick this tomato up. And it's lovely, absolutely lovely. So is that morally right or morally wrong? I don't know. I'm a fan of nuts as well. I love nuts, and I buy these nuts sometimes. And I was just happened to, I haven't got a bag here, I was looking for the ingredients and what have you, and I was actually quite surprised that where they come from. And there was Brazil and Africa, was it? And somewhere else and somewhere else. I thought, my God, you know, the air miles that these bloody nuts have done, you know, it's probably worse than a local farmer killing a chicken for KFC or Tesco's or whatever, you know. Probably is worse, who knows. I used to eat some breakfast bars a little while ago. It's raining quite heavily now. And they contained oat and nuts and wheat and chocolate, and it was absolutely lovely. And when you read the ingredients on the back, it contains quite a lot of palm oil. Now, I do know a little bit. I don't think humans should be consuming palm oil. I think there's other things out there. Palm oil, you know, it's destroying the Amazon. But is it 26 acres a day is destroyed because of palm oil? Something like that. It's a huge amount, massive amount. Yeah, I didn't like that really. And just this one little bar, you know, the nuts come from various countries. And again, I'm thinking, my God, the cost involved in this, you know, and they're only 20p. You know, so, but you know, I just ate it as a breakfast bar, and I didn't really think I'm eating nuts. I'm eating chocolate. I'm eating bloody God knows how many million tons of carbon that we put into the atmosphere because we want to travel 3 times around the world to get this 20p bar in my belly. So there's rights and wrongs. There's moral rights, moral wrongs. It's whatever you want. As I say, I'm a hypocrite. So I had a salad and lots of fruit actually for about a fortnight, and now this week I'm doing some meat and potatoes and broccoli and things like that. Why not, you know? Prior to that, I was looking for a meat alternative for a little while. I've been here 5 months, so probably for 2 months. And what I saw, all the videos and all that, they kept saying about Quorn, 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 by Quorn. And there was, I mean, it must be paid really, but there was loads of people eating corn mince and going, wow, we'll have this again, I can't tell the difference. And I think the corn is made from some sort of mushrooms or something like that. I'm not sure, I didn't bother looking into it. But do you know what? I couldn't get on with it. It was rubbery. It was bland. There was like eating rubber bands. I didn't like it, you know. And I cooked it about a week later. I did it a different way, and I sort of fast fried it in the griddle thing, and made it sort of semi-crispy as much as I could. But then again, you bite into it and this gloopy, rubberized texture, and I actually put it in the bin, that meal, the whole meal. It wasn't nice at all. Even though I put some herbs with it, and I really tried to make it a nice meal, it wasn't a nice meal. So I tried some various other things, and there's some corn strips of chicken. Well, they're not chicken, but there's some corn strips, and they were powdery, again very bland. There's no taste to any of this stuff. You've got to add so much to it to try to get a flavour, but the flavour sort of comes off, and then you're left with this chewy thing in your mouth. I didn't find it very pleasant. I just thought, actually, while I'm making this video, please don't send me a million links of cows being murdered in slaughterhouses. I have seen them. It is disgusting. This is the welfare bit, I suppose, Gary G, that you've asked about. I think it's awful, you know, from what I've seen. Now, we only see the worst, don't we? They're only going to show us the worst. They're not going to show us the best. If there is a best side, they're not going to show that. And that makes me feel awful, and when I see things like that, it makes me not want to eat meat. But I'm not a great meat eater, says me with 2 bloody steaks in the oven. And my varied diet is this, you know, in a 7-day period. Well, it can be anything. It could be 7 nights with meat-based meals, but it could equally be 7 nights of vegetarian meals, equally. I've never bothered with it really. When I was skint years and years ago, I lived in my caravan, never had much money, and I used to do a Sunday meal without the meat. I used to have gravy as well on it. I used to have a Yorkie and put some gravy on it, a stuffing ball or two, some spuds, and 3 or 4 different veggies. I like bread sauce. I love bread sauce, absolutely love it, and I quite like the onion sauce as well. So if I had some milk, I would quickly knock up some normally bread sauce, and that was my meal. And the meat wasn't missed, obviously, at all. I didn't need the meat, and I used to do that regular for years. I lived there for 9 years. I used to do that regular as clockwork, you know. So anyway, that's me really, you know. My diet, it could be anything at all, you know. I don't know what I'll be eating tomorrow. It could be vegetarian type meal, or it may not be, who knows. You know, I've got the meat in the freezer, I could use that, or I might not. Not a fish lover, tells you, not a fish lover. So that's animal welfare. I don't really like what I've seen. And I suppose meat industry, well, yeah, it is an industry, but then so is picking apples. You know, we do have these animals, we do breed them to eat though, don't we? That's the thing. And again, morally, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know, but they are bred to eat. A pig, if you had a pig, we don't have a pig for its milk or for its lovely fur. You know, what do we have a pig for? Bacon, belly pork slices. We don't have it for its milk or for its fur or for... What do we have a pig for? Do we use its skin? Is that leather? Or is that from a cow? I think leather is from a hide, isn't it? From a cow, really. I suppose if we all turned to vegetarians, there would be no such thing as pigs, which would be a shame. So Gary G, he said animal welfare, meat industry and meat eating. I've probably covered it all, haven't I, really? You know, I think ultimately it's up to you, up to each of us to make our various choices. You know, in my family there's a couple of vegans, a couple of vegetarians, and the bulk of us, I suppose, are meat eaters. So, but they're all accepted perfectly, as far as I'm concerned. You know, they're all accepted absolutely perfectly alongside everybody else, you know. As long as you don't shout it from the rooftops, you know. It did annoy me. I used to live in Bournemouth years and years back, And if you went downtown, like on a Saturday, there was these stalls with some horrific pictures of animals and what have you. And that was all the vegan lot shouting the odds. You know, you must be vegan, you've got to eat this, that and the other, you mustn't eat meat, you know. And I saw that again and again and again. I don't like any of this stuff that you see, you know. It don't matter who they are, rattling their bloody boxes or trying to stick a little sticker on you for some reason. I don't like any of that nonsense. Don't need it when you're out shopping. But, you know, I thought I never saw farmers there promoting their meat. Never saw that. And I don't think I've ever seen it. I can't think in my life that I've ever seen a stall that is promoting meat. Yeah, I've seen stalls selling meat, and I suppose they've got their promotional banners, you know, UK beef or something it might say on there, or hand-reared chickens. I don't know what it says. But yeah, I've never seen them sort of shouting the odds, you should all be eating meat, meat's good for you. Never ever have I seen that, but I've seen the vegans do it, and I don't like that. No need, just don't like it, you know. As I say, I mean, we've got vegans, we've got vegetarians in our family, and we've got meat eaters, and likewise with my friends as well. I've got some great friends, some are meat eaters, some are vegetarians, some are vegans, and I think that's absolutely fine, because we'll rub along fine, we'll just accept whatever, you know. I have one male friend who is a vegan, sort of, and he said, do you know what, he said, bacon. He said, when she's cooking, your missus, when she's cooking me bacon, I'm out of bed and I'm downstairs, he said, I can't resist it, bacon. And he will occasionally have sausage and bacon and eggs and beans and chips, you know, like that. So he'll have a bit of a fry up with her. But on the whole, he's a vegan, and he has a vegan-based diet, you know, and that's fine. And another old friend of mine, I don't see her anymore, sadly, but she was great, really good. I'm not sure how she was brought up. I know her mum was a vegan, but she was also a vegan, and I presume that was all to do with mum and what have you. But she was great because she brought her boys up, and she would even cook what they wanted. So if they wanted a burger, I mean, of course she wouldn't eat the burger, but she would cook the burger. And I was there once, and she was doing burgers, and I said, how does that make you feel? And she said, initially it used to make me feel revolting. She said, but it's what they want to eat. I love them. I cook them what they want. I wish they was vegan. That's what she said to me. I really wish they was vegan, and I've spoken to them, and they eat a lot of vegan food as well. But, you know, every now and then they want a sausage or a burger or some bacon, and she does it. And I think that's actually commendable, to be quite honest, but only as commendable as my friends that are vegan accept me fully eating these steaks tonight. Whereas I accept them absolutely fully eating whatever they want. A funny thing about, yeah, I will say it, because why not? You know, I'm a bit fat, okay? But I worked in this particular place, and I worked there for about 4 years, and I got to know everybody very well. So you got to know their diets and what have you. And we had 3 vegans there. We had a couple of vegetarians, but just vegans. 3 vegans there, and the 3 vegans were all overweight, only slightly, 2 or 3 stone, and they were all constantly on this sort of a diet. So are they eating the wrong things, vegans? It's okay being a vegan or being a vegetarian or even being a meat eater. Everything's okay as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're eating the right amount of stuff, you know. So do vegans, if they're not getting something from the meat, do they overcompensate? Do they eat bigger meals? Or are they eating the wrong food? I don't know. Don't know, it's just, you know, I'm just throwing that out there, really. But I think ultimately you've got to do whatever you do. You have got a choice. You're a human being. You know, and if things are right for you, they're right for you, and if they're wrong for you, then they're wrong for you. You've got to do whatever you do in life, you know. And as I say, I am a hypocrite. I really am. Because it's funny, I am a meat eater, and so's most of my family, most of them. But I don't like to think that I'm eating meat, you know, and it's pathetic. But, you know, I go shopping, and if I buy, I don't know, whatever, it's not meat. Do you know what I mean? It's a product that I'm going to eat with my meal. So tonight it's steak, as I said earlier, steak with all the gubbins, really, you know. Probably if I left the steak out and just had more broccoli, it'd be healthier for me and I wouldn't be quite so fat. You know, so there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad and a lot of different things, really, isn't there? I am concerned about the air miles and stuff that people are eating. You know, they're not eating the air miles perhaps, but they're eating food that comes from God knows where and been round and round the bloody world, you know. And I'm not worried about it really, but I mean, there is a concern because I'm guilty of that. You know, as I say, I eat nuts. I love to eat nuts and what have you. And these little oat bars and cereal bars and different things like that. And when I really sit and think what they contain, how many different countries have been involved, and where this stuff has come from, you know, is it any worse? I mean, I've already said this, but is it any worse than Farmer Jones killing his cow for me tonight? You know, is it any worse? Well, you've got to make up your own mind, really. And I think as long as you don't preach, then all is good in the world. You know, you might not like it, you know. I don't particularly like the colour yellow or whatever. You know, but if somebody wears yellow, you don't say, oh, you should wear purple like me, you know. I'm wearing sort of, I don't know what I'm wearing. I'm wearing lots of colours by the looks of it. Yeah, I think not to preach is the most important thing. You know, and if you're a vegetarian, great. If you're vegan, great. If you're a meat eater, great. If you buy nuts and they've come from a million miles away, great. Whatever. You really got to do what you feel is right for you. Without preaching, you know. Why be morally superior to anybody? So the question is, could I be vegetarian or could I be vegan? I haven't found enough nice foods, what I call nice foods, to be either vegetarian or vegan. That's the truth, I haven't. I haven't found anything that's like an alternative to bacon, as far as I'm concerned. Same with the sausages. When I buy sausages, I buy really good quality sausages. I don't like rubbish. You know, the rubbish sausages, I don't like them. Anyway, yeah, I could be vegetarian. I could be vegetarian to a degree, but then I suppose I am. I suppose I am vegetarian to a degree because I can go weeks or months without meat if I wanted to, you know. It's not something that I must have on my plate every night is a lump of beef or a lump of meat of any description. I often don't have meat for, you know, I don't even think about it. I just don't think about it. You know, I have a pasta type dish one night. Obviously that's no meat in there. I might have a salad the next night or even the next couple of nights because I do so bloody much. So it's 3 nights gone, there's no meat, you know. Then I might fancy something else, whatever it is, but there's no meat, you know. And then eventually it might be Friday, so there's been no meat with me all week. We get to Friday and I might order a burger, you know, takeaway burger comes in, or a Chinese, well that's got meat in. or at least my dishes have. Or I might treat myself, you know, I might buy myself a steak or belly pork slice or some bacon or whatever, you know.